Stock South on on YouTube, and I just I've been getting into going to YouTube and finding some of these old musicians. That, believe it or not, there are videos, and I'm finding that absolutely fascinating. You know, people like Gus Cannon and his Jug Stompers, some of the early doo-wop groups, of course, the big band people. There's more out there than you might realize, and it does it kind of makes me feel good to realize that good music has been around for quite some time, and you'd be surprised how much you can find if you just search through YouTube. Now, not just for music, but lots of great old. There's an awful lot of a real wealth of knowledge about history back then. I know who would have really liked YouTube was my old history teacher, Mr. Isaacs from West Morris. This would have been back in the early 60s. Yeah, yeah. And I remember him, oh gosh, Mr. Isaacs, if he were still alive, I'm hoping he is and living a happy life. But he'd be in his 90s now. But he used to tell us, study history, you clowns, or you're doomed to repeat it. And he's right on that concept. He's right. You can learn from mistakes, and when it comes to things like war and famine and and jazz like that, it's nice not to repeat. Right. We have a pandemic going now, but trust me, there's some pretty wild pandemics back in the old days too, and we learned ways to. One reason we're getting through the coronavirus is because of some of the lessons learned in those past pandemics. There was one right after World War I. Oh my God, millions of people died. Of course, say nothing. You go back into medieval days and the Black Death. Oh my God, and there were others, of course. Many things that now we know, right away how to treat one or another. But so learning from history is good, and studying the bad things that happened is good advice. But also, I would suggest too, if you want to feel good, go through history. YouTube, you can search YouTube for various tidbits of history. Some of it you got to make sure it's authentic, but a lot of it is. And you'll find that there was a lot of good things people did in the past too. You know, that there were unbelievable authors. I mean, go find anything by Mark Twain and read it. You'll be amazed. And you can go back even further. There are some very, very good things to learn from people who wrote maybe back in the before Christ, and further. You'd be amazed. All the cool religious concepts and such, how to live a proper life, how to build a proper building. Those folks from 1 to 2 to 3, 4,000 years ago weren't necessarily dummies. Yeah, they didn't know everything we know, but they knew a lot and they got by. You might want to check into that. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Mr. Isaacs is sitting on my shoulder saying, tell the people, yeah, study history, learn a little, and you won't have to repeat the bad stuff, and you may find some of the good stuff, and bring it to light again. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, I think that it wouldn't hurt. I mean, those people from the past, chances are they may have had contact with UFOs. It's hard to say. They might have. Maybe the UFOs came down to teach a bit. Of course, you had all the religious, many of the great religions started well into the past. There's just so much art, so much architecture, math. All of that was going pretty well quite long ago. Anyway, I'm just saying. I guess go back, learn a little, pick up some of the bad things that happened, and make sure we aren't doing much of that going on, nowadays, and or bringing it to present day, and then see what good happened, and maybe you can get some things cooking in the present. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making sense when I say all this, but yeah, look back and tell your stories too. I mean, I love telling stories, but I'm sure you got a billion of them as well. Get them written down, get them recorded somehow, so people 100 years from now, 200 years from now, will learn from some of the things we did that were either good ideas or stinkeroos. Just saying. Anyway, I thought I'd say. I'll see you later, friends. Thank you, and God bless. Bye now.